All right, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. This is the, at least Pacific time, October 7th meeting of the cloud provider Azure group. And I want to welcome everyone. So this is a community meeting in the Kubernetes community, and as such, we're all obligated to adhere to the community standards, and that means remember that this meeting is being recorded and will be posted to YouTube, and that we all should be good to each other. And with that, I will paste the link to the notes in the chat. And anyone who has not yet, please add your name attending. Oh, nope, Stephen already did that. Thank you. And I see you're taking notes. Great. I would like to welcome Aziz, who I have not seen in this meeting before. We're a small enough group, maybe we should just do a quick round of introductions so we all know who each other are. I'm Craig Peters, I'm a PM at Microsoft, working in the open source container infrastructure area. Aziz, maybe you can introduce yourself quickly.
Yeah, this is Aziz. I am currently working with VMware, and we were part of Avi Networks, which got acquired by VMware recently. And I have been working on different cloud deployments of our Avi is a load balancer. So we get deployed in different cloud environments, Azure, AWS, and all. And we have been exploring AKS as well as different Kubernetes expansions also. So OpenShift and other environments. So I was interested in what's happening in this group and wanted to participate whatever I could.
Well, great. Welcome. Peng Fei.
Hello, everyone. I'm Peng Fei, working from also Microsoft and mainly focused on AKS and improving the integration of Kubernetes on Azure.
Thanks, Jack. I'm just going in the order that your videos show on my screen.
Good morning, I'm Jack Francis. I'm an engineer at Microsoft, primarily working on AKS Engine, which is a cluster provisioning library for AKS, and in addition has some toolchain wrapping on top so folks can build sort of ad hoc self-managed Kubernetes clusters.
And Stephen, yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Augustus. I am a senior cloud native architect at VMware, also the emeritus chair for SIG Azure. I work on a bunch of different things, some release stuff, some PM stuff, and also I'm one of the primary maintainers for Cluster API Azure.
Thanks. So let's go down the agenda. I'm really glad to see everybody here. It's great. So the action item from the last meeting that was pending was the repo migration, and I see, Stephen, you created a tracking issue.
Yep. So I wanted to wait until it was like a reasonable hour to send out an email, and people would be paying attention to it. So I'll send out an email today regarding the migration. I doubt there will be too many people up in arms, but you know, it's something to be aware of. Essentially, for anyone who isn't aware, we're planning on migrating the cloud provider Azure repo from Kubernetes, from the Kubernetes org over to the Kubernetes SIGs org. That is just for consistency, where SIG-based projects should be under the Kubernetes SIG org as opposed to Kubernetes. There may be some concerns around name changes of repos. For GitHub, the first name change is free, essentially. They'll do a redirect from Kubernetes to Kubernetes SIGs, so that shouldn't be an issue. And then also, when doing imports for the cloud, for the Go repo itself, we have two redirectors set up, Kates.io and sig.k8s.io. So sig.k8s.io/cloud provider will point to the correct repo. So I'm not too concerned about the imports, but I'm curious if anyone has objections for any reason before we go for it.
So for these items, would the older Go import path still works? So if we do some such as Go get with the original, would that still work?
So the go get with the original should still work, because what it'll do is you'd be go getting k8s.io/cloud provider Azure, which would redirect to Kubernetes slash cloud provider Azure, which would redirect to Kubernetes SIGs once it's done. So as long as we only do one redirect, we don't change the name twice, it should be fine.
Okay, so we don't need to change the go path, right?
We should change the go path, but if you but if you still have the old go path, it should be fine for now. We need to change the go. We'll need to change the go path to sig.k8s.io. sigs.k8s.io.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be from.
Okay, so in that way, there are actually a lot of things we need to change, such as the test infra, the pipelines to publish the image and so on. And also in our codes, there are also some go paths there.
Yeah. So I think the initial stuff should be like the initial concern should be fine in terms of translating the path correctly. We should double back and fix it. All I'm saying is that through the essentially through the redirects, it won't break, or it shouldn't break. But this is something that I would like to try. Maybe you can help me enumerate on that issue things that we'll have to change as well.
Okay.
But I want to try to move on that as quickly as possible, because I think this is the time that we'll have the lowest amount of people using the repo, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, when you have a chance, just comment on that issue. I know basically everywhere we reference the repo, and we can do a hound search for that, which should be fairly simple. Here is hound if you haven't had a chance to use it before. Okay. Right, and hound basically allows you to, for people on the call who haven't seen it before, it allows you to search arbitrary keywords across all Kubernetes repos. So you can use that to find things that you're trying to fix.
Okay, great. Other comments around moving the repo? I guess I do have one question, which is, are the other cloud providers also moving to Kubernetes SIGs, or have they already done so? I'm not aware.
Most of them started off there. A decent chunk of them started off there. So the newest ones would have started off there, and I think the ones that were traditionally in Kubernetes might have been like AWS and Azure. So I just want to make sure that we're setting the right example in migrating.
I think that makes sense. Rita was just wondering why, so I will update her. Okay, great. I had put as the next item to go over the board and look at what should be done in 117. Does that make sense to folks?
I would say let's do the board last,
yeah,
and see if we can jump through these.
Oh, you added some items. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So Stephen, did you add the fix aggressive VM calls?
I did not.
Okay, who added
If
that?
Peng Fei did.
Peng Fei?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have met a lot of throttle issues for our big customer. So we need actually a lot of steps to fix the issue. I have created one PR to replace the virtual machine because at least so that the number of GET requests would not depend on the number of nodes. And also we need to cherry pick this PR to auto releases. Also, I would also do a lot of other works to fix the issues. For example, we would order the retry after header from the ARM responses, and also we would order the retry limits based on the responses. So there would be a lot of code changes there. So I don't expect that changes cherry pick to auto releases. But for this one, I would expect it to cherry pick to auto release.
Yeah, this seems, I'm just scanning through the code now. Yeah, this seems fine to cherry pick back as it's fixing a bug. I would say just tag me as well in the ones that may be considered for cherry picks.
Yeah.
I just because I know there's been a common pattern of is this really a bug fix, or is this a bug fix, or is it a feature for the provider? So let's just
Right.
so I can help out with that conversation. This is a valuable one to have in though, so I think we should cherry pick it back where we can.
Yeah. Actually, we don't. We only have 4 days, I think, for
The deadline.
for cache next release. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
So I would try to send out the cherry pick PRs as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the deadline is the 11th. Yeah, you probably sent out the emails, didn't you? Or someone sent out the emails.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this should be fine to cherry pick back.
Okay, great.
Next one.
Any action item though? So just to close that one out. So Stephen, you have an AI to talk to someone about that, or is that just standard process?
No, I've just got to watch the stuff for approvals. Peng Fei is going to open cherry picks for the older release branches. That should be it.
Actually, I can approve the cherry pick PR because I'm also the patch release manager. So I need so I just need another one from SIG area to approve the cherry pick.
Okay, yeah, just tag me when you're ready.
Great. So next item, hyperkey migration out of KK.
Yeah, so I added that. I don't have anything specifically to say about it other than I think we should track it, especially in this 117 release cycle, because it looks like all signal is that that's not going to be delivered with 117. So
yeah, let me actually assign myself to that one because I'm handling that. Yeah, so all we're trying to do is essentially move it out of tree. I think that that's doable within the 117 timeframe, but you're right that it does mean that we won't be publishing those artifacts within the standard release cycle, right? Within the standard release process. So, but that doesn't mean that we won't publish the artifacts at all, right? It'll just be a separate out of tree release. What this does allow us to do is move faster on Hypercube if we need to, right?
cool.
So if there are things that you need out of Hypercube, feature requests or interests in maintainership, I think part of the reason that we want it shifted out of tree is it is kind of like Dims is saying, it is kind of a magnet for pulling in other dependencies. But if we have that out of tree, we can kind of manage it as we need to. I know the Azure folks expressed interest in keeping it around. Some other people have. I know Dalton, who maintains Typhoon, also uses Hypercube. So what I'd like to do is find maintainers for this. Ultimately, SIG release will be the steward for it, but I'd like to find maintainers as well. So if you know people that are interested, let me know. Pengfei, I think you mentioned at some point that you are interested in it, at least. I don't want to. I don't want to.
You're doing enough already, Pink Fei.
Exactly. I was like, I don't want to automatically sign you up for maintainership for that.
But Craig and I can talk offline. We have some folks. I mean, if there's sort of general community interest in keeping this around, then I think because we're one of the stakeholders, at least up to this point, we should do our part and maintain it. So, Craig,
Yeah,
you
cool.
and I can figure out maybe how to do that.
I agree.
Let me know.
Thanks for adding that, Jack. And AI is for Craig and Jack to discuss Microsoft investment in maintaining. Okay, before we go to the board, are there any other items anyone wants to bring up? No, great. And I will share my desktop. I'll share browser. Okay. So what we have here is the board that's moderately maintained, and we have a few items that have been put in the 117 backlog column. I'm not 100% sure how any of these got here, but I think the first thing we ought to do is go through and just make sure these make sense for 117. Does that sound right to folks? Okay, so first thing is Pengfei noted that we need to benchmark the Azure request from the Cloud Controller Manager. And looks like Rita is assigned. This makes sense to me in this time frame because we have the API throttling issue. Pengfei, is this specifically to help us get our arms around the API throttling issue?
Yeah, so for this one, so with benchmarks, it would help a lot to for custom to have some reference to set up the client side backups or rate limit. So this is required actually because the some customs running a lot of clusters within one subscription. But the Azure throttle is based on subscription. So at the doc side, so there are only 12,000 read requests per hour and per subscription.
Right.
So we need this to guide the custom to set up their client side rate limit.
Okay, so you envision a change to docs based on this.
Right.
Okay. And build and push Cloud Node Manager image. Obviously, we need to do that.
Okay, this one has already been done. So I forgot. I think it could be closed now.
Well, hold on. Actually, this one is. It looks like we're going to be publishing to MCR.
Right.
A community image should be published to GCR. If they're and partially for visibility, right? Being able to control those jobs and have those jobs be controlled by anyone in the community. So my ask for this one would be to There is an image pushing job that works now. I'm not sure if you saw that work from Catherine, but let me find it. So check this out.
Yeah, so do you have any guides to publish the image also to there?
Yes, I do.
I think we should publish it to both maybe because on Azure we only use MCL, we don't use GCL. But for community, I think GCL is also makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just popped that in the chat. Let me actually put it in the notes.
Yeah, I was going to ask if
okay.
you could comment on the issue. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, I can do. So basically, what happens with that one is after a commit finishes, like once we have it all set up, a post submit will run that'll essentially just publish it to staging bucket, right? And then during the release process, you can decide to both run the Jenkins job for the repo as well as doing an image promotion, right? So the image promotion to land the SHA of the staging bucket image into the prod bucket, and that should be fairly straightforward. But yeah, I'm going through the process with a few different repos right now, so I can help out there too.
Okay, appreciate that.
Just one question, Stephen, on the benchmark numbers of Azure requests. So generally, Azure has a provision for upgrading the numbers or increasing or enhancing the API limits, right? Mm-hmm. So if I saw that if you do the changes based on 12K and 1.2K, won't it? Let's suppose somebody who has increased their numbers, won't it impact them or?
I do not know is the short answer. We should probably find that out. But I imagine that this would be establishing a new baseline as opposed to overriding.
The only thing I was asking is, will it be configurable? That's what I
think it's the best thing to do is because Rita is actually working on that right now. If you could comment on the issue, that would help a lot.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah, everybody can know. Thank you. Okay, I am noticing that we are almost to the end of the half hour and we have only gone through 2 issues. I am going to propose that we have another working session sometime before the next meeting of this to work on 117 planning. I think that
yeah, we can totally do that. I would say we can smaller circle if we want to for the planning session, and maybe make it an hour. And
I'll send an email out to the whole group. And,
okay.
We can do a little doodle and get a couple of dates.
Do a little doodle.
Yeah. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, we'll do that. Since we only have a couple of minutes left, and what I'll ask also is, are there any other issues that we should cover today?
I had a question, actually, unless someone else does. Okay, all right. So it's a question about the, I realize, after going back, I realized I actually approved the PR, but it's a question about the secret-based cloud provider configuration. So we're at the point in Cluster API Azure where we are, there's a way to inject the Cluster API, the cloud provider config, and it's essentially like we land the Etsy Kubernetes Azure.json within a config file, right? The Bootstrap provider for KubeADM. Is there a saner way of doing that where we can leverage the secrets instead? Is there a quick README on the config or something?
There is a config map based vector that the kubelet can consume, isn't there?
I believe so. I haven't used it before, which is why I was pinging.
Yeah, yeah, we have added the secret support since last year
115?
did.
Yeah.
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 So it could be used to set up the secret, and also we also support MSI, right? So you don't need the credentials anywhere. You just use the tokens from MSI.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wire CAPC to support MSI as well. It should be like one flag change, but we'll have to do it. Cool.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it. And with that, I will send out a message about planning, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Take it easy.